Alright, today I'm going to show you how to get all that tar shit out of your inner fender wells. So pretty much, well, right now I'm just using chainsaw gas, but any kind of like diesel or gasoline work great, or tar and wax remover works pretty good, but I've always seen gasoline diesel work the best. Alright, I'm going to show you how to do this shit. Alright, here's the inner fender well. Now I already went through with a Scotch-Brite pad, got it all nice soaking wet with the gas. Now pretty much just dump a bunch in there in the center. You'll get it all pretty sloppy in here, and then you just go through and just soak it all up. Yeah, and it'll just slowly drip down and just keep getting it until it's all nice and soaked and, you know, looking pretty shiny like that. And it'll start to dry up a little bit like this, and then what you do is the areas that dry up the fastest, go back over them real quick because you want them to get as sloppy as they can, and then just go back over it with a putty knife and it should come off like butter. Now one problem you might run into is it doesn't really eat through the paint the best, so you might have a little bit of trouble. So your best bet would to go over this already with a putty knife, kind of knock off as much paint as you can, and then go through it with a putty knife. I'm going to show you on this side how I'm going to go through the putty knife and knock off paint first, and then this side I'm going to not knock off and show you which way works better. Alright. Alright, now put a little bit of your mix or whatever the hell you got, your gas, diesel or whatnot, your trusty little thing. Now I knocked off a lot of the paint right here, and then I didn't do any of this side, so I'm just gonna go get this all nice and soppy. Now I always suggest some sort of PPE, you know, always wear your gloves, keep the shit off your hands, off your skin, and usually you should be wearing a respirator. I'm not. Not a bad choice, but kind of used to this now. But always use a respirator. Always use good PPE. Keep everything out of your body. Live to a good old ripe, healthy age. All right. Now for the fun part: scraping this shit out. I always use a good scraper, and one tip I'll always say, start in the bottom, because when you're scraping down the sides, all your shit ends up down here and starts collecting, and then you're scraping in the blind, don't know really what the hell you're doing. And yeah, so always start in the center. I already did a little bit of this before the other day, so it won't be too bad, but now the best thing about this is underneath all this, it's all galvanized. So it comes off pretty easy. The only shitty part, see how I keep stopping, brings up a lot of that light metal and stops your scraper. So you kind of got to manipulate which ways you go. Alright. Now, I'm going to show you, this side didn't take any paint, this side it did. See how that all came off pretty nice and easy. Now let's get this side. Now, just as good, almost. It's a little bit more pressure. But I'll show you here in a second why we do it this way. Alright, now I'm going to keep going on, and then I'll show you here in a second what this is. Now this is the side I hit with the putty knife first to knock off the paint. That's just, all you see is the brown undercoating and then the galvanized steel behind it. So yeah, I knocked off all that tar really well. And this is the side that I didn't knock the paint off first. See, it didn't really eat through the paint too well and get on the other side of it. So you got a lot of tar left, so what you're going to have to do is go back over it again. I mean, you can leave it or whatnot because you're going to end up sandblasting it anyways, but just It takes a lot less time just to throw another little bit on here or knock off the paint first and then scrape it off than it is to sit there with the sandblaster and try to get rid of it all. This will just blow through all nicely. Alright, and it got pretty well, and there's a lot of spots that you're not going to be able to get too well or whatnot. Like, I still got to go back underneath here, and there's still a bunch of crap left, but you don't have to get it 100% perfect. It's not the biggest deal to get it all, but it's just nice to get most of it because it's pretty damn thick. Now, like I said, you know, don't ever piss in the wind, shit runs downhill, and that's what happens. All your crap ends up down here. Just get a plastic bag, put it all in there. Don't forget wear your gloves and shit. But yeah, just make sure you start with the bottom first and then go out. Yeah, and you'll start getting in here. And then what you can also do is I use a couple different types of scrapers. Like, this is my main one right here. It's just nice and sturdy. And when you're scraping, like when you scrape like this, just find a designated spot in here to wipe it on. Don't try to wipe it all over the place, because or else you're just getting a bigger mess. But it's a regular sturdy one, or you can have a big wide one, but this one's my favorite. It's got a little notch in it, you see. Just gets in here really nicely, gets along the side. You know, these things are cheap, so you might as well get your shit all fitted up right so it works properly and the best. You know, every second shave time is another second on something else. Alright, so I'm going to go back through and knock the rest of this paint off and then dab it up again, make it all nice and juicy. I'm going to do the same thing with this side. You don't have to, but it's nice just to get the last little bit that wasn't touched from it and just kind of get it all off. And then when I scrape this out, I'll show you what we do next. Alright. Alright, here she is, pretty much all scraped out, good to go. Now all I'm going to do is go back one more time with the Scotch-Brite and then kind of knock off all the little shit that you can't get to. Just, like, you know, just little pieces here and there. Kind of get up in there and get everything kind of cleaned up right, just ready for the sandblast. Now, if you don't have access to a sandblaster or just can't use one because where you're at, not enough room, yada yada, all the bullshit, show you one other thing you can use. Now, the best thing to use is a sandblaster. You know, it takes it down the metal, gets it everything clean. You know, none of the shit in here, so you can't contaminate anything with your paint. Another thing is always bag your shit, because you don't want it to get on the ground and then track it in, and then you know, just keep everything nice and clean. Always remember your PPE, your gloves and shit. Alright, now I'm going to wipe this out one last time, and then I'll show you what else you could do besides sandblasting. Alright. Now another thing while you're doing this, getting this all wiped one last time down, get it all nice and soaked, all good. Just come back with a rag or a towel or whatever you got, you know, something that works. Kind of wipe it off. Get it all nice, good to wipe. Now you see how nice and clean that is. Now it's just going to sandblast real nice. I just keep repeating it. You could use blue towel, whatever you got, you know, a good rag. Yeah, just wipe it down, get it wet, and come back with a rag. See? And it's just beautiful. Alrighty. Now when we come back, we'll be doing the rest, getting all the shit off. Alright, now there's a couple ways to do this to get rid of the rest of the tar on here. Main way is the sandblast, the way we do it. If you don't have that luxury of being able to do it or get to one, there's a couple other different ways. You can use a wire wheel or just a small disc grinder. For this one, I like to use the Scotch-Brite pad or a fine pad. It just gets in it pretty nice. And I'll show you here. Now see, it gets the tar off pretty nice and everything. It gets in there really well. But the one thing about doing sanding like this is when you get a good portion or whatever, get all done, you're gonna have to do the same steps of wiping it all down with gasoline or whatever you're using. It's just to get the last little bit, because what this will do is it will get all gunked up, and then it'll start spreading it across. So get as much as you can get done. You know, keep changing your pads, keep it clean, and then come back, wipe it all over again. Then you're going to go over it one more time and then wipe it down one last time. Now I'm going to switch to this one, show you the little difference here. This one works just good, if not better, but the only thing about it is it gets gunked up and you go through it a lot faster. Like, this is pretty much smooth again now. Now I'll show you what it's like to use the wire. Now it's not the best way to do it, and it's not, you know, it's not the fastest, but it works just as good. Now the same thing with this, it gets gunked up too and starts pushing everything around. So yeah, you're just gonna end up keep wiping it out, wiping it out, wiping it out. All right, now I'm gonna show you pretty much what happens when you wipe it out. Now this right here is the main area that I stuck to the little sanding pad. Now got all the grease off really nicely, and this is just after one good wipe, and then, you know, I'll just go through and knock off as much of this crap as I can. I mean, a lot of this undercoating prime that's on there you don't have to worry about, because this is your fender well. So, and it's all galvanized underneath, so, you know, it keeps for a long time. And yeah, so you'll just go through, and this is the one with the disc. Now this is the wire wheel. Now it looks alright, it cleans up pretty good, but you use a lot more time in doing it. Like, here's the other area that I did just a little bit, and see I didn't get all the tar right there. So yeah, it pretty much takes a little bit longer, gets gunked up faster, because like this right here, you can see it shines up real nice. Now they both may push around tar, but when you wipe it all down, you know, just a good wipe gets it all off, so no big worries about it. All right, now that's it for how to sand and get the tar off for that. All right, now I'm going to show you what it ends up looking like after you sandblast it. Alrighty. So this is the opposite inner fender well that we're working on. I did this side first, but this is it sandblasted pretty much. Gets all the tar out, you don't have to deal with any of the shit. So no contaminants when you're laying down your next paint or whatever inner lining that you're going to do. Another reason why I always say sandblast is because the tar and stuff that's in here doesn't always hold up the best, mostly in the high traffic cornered areas like this, from years of the dirt and shit from the road hitting it. So it's always going to be rust in these areas. So a sanding pad and wire wheel won't really get in there all the way, and you're just thinning out the metal when you use sand pad and any of that. So the best way is to sandblast. You don't want the shit coming back, because you want it done right the first time. So yeah, this is it, nice and clean, and then just all you gotta do is wipe all the stuff out, vacuum the crap, and then paint, and you're pretty much done with it in here. Alrighty, now that's it. Alright, so we're done. Like I always say, remember, keep your PPE close, your gloves, glasses, hearing, you know, respirator if you need it for the gas. Now, review on it. Main reason why I like to use gas or diesel is because it's cheaper than tar and wax remover. Plus, you get the same exact, you know, effect out of it. So might as well go for the cheaper, and especially if it works just the same. And another thing is, when you're, just remember, just keep clean, keep your area clean when you're using the sander or wire wheel. You know, you don't want to get any type of paint rejected. And pretty much that's it. Just keep on keeping on. If you got any questions or comments on the video, or want to see other ones, let me know. Pretty much right now I don't know what my next one is going to be, so, you know, just give me an idea. If you guys want to see a tutorial on sandblasting, let me know. But I don't know, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Put the sand in, build up the air, and hit the metal. That's about it. So yeah, yeah, let me know what you want to see or whatnot, and like I always say, just keep on keeping on. All right, hope your project works out great. See ya.